Well, hello there, Guy Watson here, Bognor Regis Bonsai. Now then, start today's video on a bit of a shameful note. My Korean lilac bonsai dead as a dodo. Something has killed it, I don't know what. Root rot possibly, because it's wet. Roots haven't recovered. But I thought I'd show you this because last year it was in nice lilac blooms. That was before I started doing the channel. Before I realised that I could actually do channels from my computer. But it is just as Kenneth de Bon would say, as dead as a dodo. There we go, for the bin, but also I think it was too wet. The soil was not gritty enough. I think it's root rot that's got that one. But that's how we start. Now let's carry on with some success that's growing. We'll come back to you in a minute. And as I said to you, this project is an ash tree that is growing very, very well and certainly needs trimming back. An enormous tree at the moment, hardly you could say is a bonsai. But if we zoom up further into here, in the past there has been wiring done on it, and I think you can see some dreadful marks on that. Sun's quite bright here at the moment, but there are some marks on it. It's still wired from a secondary wiring I did. What I think we need to do is get this wire off to start with and see how the trunk looks. There's some scarring you can see here from previous wiring and up here and as we go further up. So I think the first job, get the wiring off, then we're going to have to see about trimming it down a bit. It's an enormous plant at the moment. And all I can see is green and wire. So let's get on with the de-wiring first. Right, cheerio for now. Right, okay, well, we will just show the first start of this unwiring. And I don't know if you can see here, but there are some slight marks. Not too bad, but there are some. And it's unwiring fairly easily. So what I'll do, I'll carry on doing that, then I'll come back, give you a shout, and we'll have a quick look at the scarring that's occurred. Back in a minute. Well, now I've unwired the ash, and we can see there's some slight markings here. And down here we can see some markings from when it was first wired, which are a lot deeper. And then we come up, these are the recent ones. So I think I'll get away with that. Hopefully, we'll have to see about getting on what we can do with this deeper one. I'll have to file the edges off. Right, so that's it unwired. What we're going to do now is try and trim it up. Right then, see you in a minute. Actually, before I finish with the wiring, this is what's left of the wire I took off, which is certainly not straight for any future jobs. Bit straighter now, but let us just see. I use this from Hong. It's a technique he used on the KW Society to straighten up wire. Pair of pliers, both ends, pull it together, and they do come out straight. One more up here. I know Peter Chan likes pulling his over his chair legs but I find this one is quite effective. Quick bend so I can store it, and there we have a reasonable straight piece of wire to be used in the future. Right, let's go and get the scissors out. Okay then, so let's start, my chair sorted out, by trying to chop off some of this long growth. No ramification on it, so it's got to go. This one I'm going to chop off here. Drop it down there for now. Actually, that makes a difference already, doesn't it? Drop that off. See what we get down there. If this tree is totally overgrown, it needs a major restyling. Oh, I don't think the shape of it is actually too bad. I don't know how you guys think. Once again, we can chop a leaf off. This is the leaf, but if we chop it off, we're leaving a couple of the first leaves on the major leaf. It will grow, it will not kill it. Unlike the silk trees. But ash tree, fine. That looks like it's coming from the crotch. Oh no, it's coming from around here. Even so, it's going towards the inside of the tree, and we don't want that. Cut these all back. You've got to be bold here. I know a lot of beginners are loath about chopping growth off, not knowing quite where they should prune back to. Well, once again, I'm going back to sort of the first pair of leaves on each leaf, first pair of sprouts on each leaf, and I know it'll grow again. Fairly simple task. Has to be done at this time of year though. Otherwise the tree will just run away with us again. Take that leaf off. Let me try and stand up, excuse me. Ooh. That's interfering with the rest of the tree, so chop it off. Once you get into the hang of these pruning palavers, it's quite a straightforward job. I mustn't have branches going across. Likewise, that one is coming right across the tree. So cut that one off. Coming across, chop that, that's too close to the main trunk, chop that. Now we are starting to look better. This ash was actually found on a Bognor Regis Freegle site, which is where people give away free things, called Freegle. A chap had it growing in his garden. They'd come and pick it up, you could have it for free. And so me being a bard hard up bonsai enthusiast. I jumped at the chance, went and picked it up, and ended up with this. I know it looks as though it's been chopped to its death, but believe me, it hasn't. Nigel Saunders is good for chopping things back and making them look very small, but there we go. I think that is all we can do on it for now. Not much left to it, but it will grow. And hopefully we've just got to try and sort this trunk out. We'll let it grow and get rid of all these marks that the wire made previously. This year's wire is not very deep, but the wire before, I'm afraid I forgot too much. In fact, I'll give you another close-up of those bits. Here we go. Okay, going up the trunk here, we can see some of the scarring is quite bad. That's the last wiring I put on, but the other wiring, the marks have been very bad, so we'll just have to wait for a few years, maybe about 4 or 5. Hopefully they will grow out. Okay, that's about it for now, so we'll leave it there and say thank you very much for watching. See you again soon. One thing I will just show before I go, especially for one particular person in Canada, Jay, my carnage cam, or as I like to call it over here, my chop shop. Anyway, so there's all the foliage we've got off. See you next time. Take care all.